It's August 18th, 1913. Inside the Monte Carlo casino, a roulette ball has just landed on black for the 15th time in a row. The room is losing its mind. Men are emptying their wallets, their pocket watches, their wedding rings, betting everything they own on red. Because surely, after 15 blacks in a row, red has to be coming. It is not coming. It will hit black 11 more times. By the time this single wheel stops embarrassing the laws of probability, it will have wrecked more household budgets in one night than most stock market crashes manage in a week. Marriages will end over this. Lifelong friendships will dissolve at a roulette table over the next 4 hours. One man allegedly bet his house. The house won the house. And the wildest part? The math that explained why every single one of these people was about to get destroyed was sitting right in front of them the entire time. They had it. They just refused to use it. This is the gambler's fallacy. And as always, we have a personal case study standing by. The gambler's fallacy is the belief that random events have a memory, that if a coin lands on heads 5 times in a row, tails is now due. It isn't. The coin doesn't owe you anything. The coin doesn't know what it did last time. The coin doesn't know what a coin is. It's a piece of metal. Every single flip, every single spin, every single deal of a card is what's called an independent event. The odds reset completely every time. What just happened has no effect on what's about to happen. Zero, none. The wheel is not keeping score. The wheel is not building up to a correction. The wheel does not feel bad for you. But our brains absolutely refuse to accept that. Because our brains didn't evolve to do probability theory. Our brains evolved to find patterns in tall grass so we wouldn't get eaten by tigers, which is great for not getting eaten by tigers. It is significantly worse for not getting destroyed by a wooden wheel in Monaco. Which brings us to a casino full of educated, wealthy, well-dressed adults in 1913, who collectively decided that a roulette wheel made of wood and metal had developed a sense of fairness. Monte Carlo, August 18th, 1913. The casino is packed. Roulette is the main event, and one wheel in particular is about to become a permanent case study in every psychology textbook for the next 100 years. The wheel is more famous than most of the people who lost money to it. The ball lands on black, then black again, then black a third time. Nobody panics yet. That's normal. Roulette wheels land on the same color a few times in a row all the time. That's just what randomness actually looks like. Real randomness is streaky and uneven, and it makes people uncomfortable because it doesn't look random enough. Because in every single person's head, the exact same broken sentence is running on repeat. It's been black this many times. Red has to be coming. It is overdue. That sentence, it's overdue, is the entire disaster. That's the whole fallacy, in 4 words. Memorize it. Hate it. Because that is the sentence that is about to cost an entire room of people their savings, their watches, and in at least one case, their entire estate. Spin 11, black. The room groans. Spin 12, black again. Now people aren't just watching, they're betting. Small amounts first. Just dipping a toe in. Red has to show up eventually, right? So why not get in early, get the good odds before everyone else figures it out? Steve is one of those people. He has a modest bet on red. Nothing crazy. He's not a degenerate. He's just a guy who took one statistics class and remembered exactly the wrong half of it. Spin 13, black. Spin 14, black. Steve's modest bet is gone. Steve is not concerned. Steve has a plan. Now here's where the math gets thrown out the window completely. Instead of looking at 4 blacks in a row and thinking, maybe red isn't actually overdue. Maybe red doesn't work like that. The entire room thinks the exact opposite. They think, red is even more overdue now. This is mathematically nonsense. This is the same logic as believing that if you haven't been struck by lightning yet today, you're due. Steve doubles his bet. Everyone around him doubles theirs. Spin 16, black. Spin 17, black. The shouting in the room has shifted in tone. It's not excitement anymore, it's disbelief. People are pulling out jewelry, watches, cufflinks, anything with resale value. Because surely, this cannot keep happening. The wheel has to break eventually. The wheel does not have to do anything. Spin 18, black. Spin 19, black. Steve has now lost 4 times what he started with. Steve has a new plan. This is the point in the story where, if these people were thinking clearly, every single one of them would walk away. That is not what happens. Spin 20, black. The room has stopped functioning as a collection of rational adults. People are borrowing money from strangers to bet on red. Strangers are lending it to them. Everyone in the room agrees that red is so overdue, it is basically guaranteed at this point. They are all wrong together, which somehow makes them feel more right. Steve borrows money from the man next to him, a man he has never seen before in his life. They do not exchange names. They exchange a verbal IOU and a handshake. This will become important later. Spin 21, black. Spin 22, black. Somewhere in the back of the room, a man says the exact sentence that should end the night for every single person who can hear it. He says, "There's no way it does this again. The wheel does it again." Spin 23, black. Spin 24, black. At this point, the casino has made an absolutely absurd amount of money, and the room has made approximately none of it. Spin 25, black. A waiter walks by carrying champagne. Nobody is celebrating. The champagne goes back to the kitchen. Steve has nothing left to bet. He is standing at the table with empty hands, having lost money he didn't have, to a math problem he refused to understand. He is also still convinced that red is now extremely, definitely, mathematically about to happen. Spin 26, black. 26 blacks in a row. The odds of that happening on a fair roulette wheel are roughly 1 in 66.6 million. For comparison, your odds of being struck by lightning this year are about 1 in 1.2 million. This wheel was, statistically, more rare than getting struck by lightning 50 times. And it happened in front of a room of people who, with each new black, became more convinced red was coming. It is not until spin 27 that red finally shows up. By then, it does not matter. The damage is done, the wallets are empty, the watches are gone. The marriage in row 3 is over. Here's the part that nobody in that room understood. The roulette wheel has no memory. The wheel is not tracking its own results. The wheel is not building up pressure toward a correction. The wheel is not even aware that there are people watching it. Every single spin has the exact same odds as the spin before it, regardless of what just happened. The wheel does not care. The wheel cannot care. The wheel is a wheel. This is called the independence of random events. Past outcomes do not influence future ones. Full stop. The wheel landing on black 26 times in a row is statistically wild, but it is no more or less likely on spin number 27 than it was on spin number 1. Our brains absolutely hate this. We are wired to find patterns. Pattern recognition kept our ancestors alive. See tracks in the dirt, assume predator, survive to make more humans who also see tracks in the dirt. The problem is, roulette wheels are not predators. They are physics and probability, and they do not care what they should do next. They cannot care. They do not have a brain. They have a slight tilt and some friction, and that is the entire personality of a roulette wheel. The casino did not need to cheat anyone that night. The casino did not even need to try. The casino just needed every single person in the room to believe one quiet, comforting lie. That randomness owes you a correction. It does not. Spin 27 lands on red. The room does not cheer. There is nothing left to cheer with. The damage from 26 spins of black is already sitting in the casino's vault, not the player's pockets. The casino is, allegedly, very polite about it. By the time that streak ended, several million francs had changed hands, almost all of it moving in one direction, into the house. Not because the casino did anything clever. The casino did nothing. The casino just stood there. Because 24 spins of a wheel had convinced an entire room of adults that math had a conscience, that probability had a sense of fairness, that a wheel made of wood owed them their money back. Steve walks away from the table with empty pockets and a debt to a man he met 20 minutes ago. He has lost everything he came in with. He has lost things he did not come in with. And here is the part you have come to expect from him. Steve has just personally witnessed an entire room of grown adults destroy themselves financially because they believed a streak owed them a correction. He watched it happen, from the front row, with his own money, and the very first thing he does, walking away from that table, is locate a new streak to bet against. That's the gambler's fallacy. Random events do not remember you, they do not owe you anything, and they are never ever due. If you want to actually beat the odds in life, here's a start. Subscribe.